You stopped fighting, and you know you did, but not all at once. There was no specific moment where you decided to give up, but somewhere along the way, something in you went quiet. And you've gotten so good at not noticing it, you almost believe you're fine. I know this because my body told me so. First, it was migraines, then exhaustion that I couldn't fix with a good night's sleep. And then one day, I remember sitting in my car after a work meeting and I started crying and I couldn't stop. All of it was over a broken promise from work. It was just work stuff, a job. And I thought, why is this the thing that broke me? What I found explained everything, not just that moment, but why some people carry this with them and others don't, and what it actually takes to come back online. Hey, I'm Mihna, I'm an engineer, I'm not a therapist, but after spending way too long feeling like I have almost zero control over my own life, I started digging into why some people get stuck into this feeling while others don't, and what I find isn't what I expected. The same as using this as my microphone handle. By the end of this video, you'll understand why powerlessness hits some people much harder than others. You will see the pattern that keeps you stuck without even realizing it, and you will have one thing, yes, you heard me right, one thing that you can do to start feeling like your actions matter again. Okay, let me show you. So here's what I found when I started digging into this. There's this theory that changed the way I look at this, and it comes actually from the process communication model, which is the framework that I keep talking in my videos on this channel. And this whole thing starts way earlier than you might expect. It starts in the first few months of our lives. We learn something. It's not with words, because of course at that age you don't understand words. It's in our bodies. A baby cries, and if someone comes to pick them up, meets the need. The baby learns, my actions create outcomes, and I can influence what happens around me. What I do matters. That's the main takeaway from this. But what do you think it happens when a baby cries and nobody comes? They learn something else. They learn something like, okay, it's useless to ask, nothing I do changes anything, so why bother? The baby stops crying and the parents thinks, oh my god, look, he actually stopped crying. 30 years later, hey, hello, I'm Igna. And here's the part that messed me up when I first read about this. Unfortunately, this lesson doesn't just stay in our childhood, it becomes a filter, and a goddamn good one. A way we see the world, and every time life confirms it, every time you try something and nothing changes, this filter gets thicker and thicker, or stronger, whatever you want to call it. So when that promise that got broken from work for me, from my managers, when I realized I had no leverage, no control, nothing in writing, and it wasn't just about the situation from work, it was like my brain said something to me, see, this is how it always goes. It's useless to ask, it's useless to try, so why even bother, man? This is why this whole thing hit me so hard. I wasn't reacting to what happened, I was reacting to something I learned before I could even speak. And if you ever felt powerless in a relationship, in a job, with your family, anywhere, and maybe your first thought was, why does this bother me more than it should? You're conscious about it. This might be why. It's not weakness, it's not something you decide consciously now. This thing is old and is really old. So what does it look like when this old wound gets triggered in some of us? For me, it started with nothing, and when I mean nothing, it's literally nothing. I felt nothing. I would go through my day and I couldn't tell what happened. I was there, but I wasn't really there. Just going through the motions, and you want to know what's the weirdest part? It felt like I was watching my own life from another room. Like there was a glass wall between me and everything, and which was that actually the thick filter that I was mentioning before. I could see myself sitting there, not doing anything. I was not changing anything. A part of me out of all of this was still screaming, hey man, do something, but I couldn't hear it. It was basically like I was shouting in the water. Then the body started to give me signs. It started with really heavy migraines, exhaustion, wake up tired. I would go to bed tired. I would actually, if I can say it, I was being tired of being tired, which I still am in some regards. And you want to know what I didn't realize? I'd stop trying. I didn't make this decision consciously. I didn't give up. I didn't wake up one day and decided, okay, I give up. But somewhere inside me, the decision was already made, and it was on the reasons why try if nothing changes anyway. And that's the trap, because when you stop trying, nothing changes. And when nothing changes, it confirms this belief. See, nothing I do matters. It's a loop. So the wound creates the behavior that proves the wound is true. If you're still here, thanks a lot for watching and thank you for giving me your time. This next part is the exact reason why I made this video. Because something started happening that I thought was a problem. At the beginning it scared me, it scared the shit out of me, but it turns out it was the first sign that something was changing. Okay, now let's go back to my alter ego from outside. For me, I started to get angry, really angry. At the gym, I wasn't just lifting the weights, I was throwing the weights around. I really wanted to see something break. I would replay conversation in my head and fantasizing how I flipped the table in front of my manager about saying all the things I didn't say. And I felt ashamed of it, because for me, anger felt like I was losing control, like you're broken and something is wrong with you. But here's what I finally understood, and this is the part that changed everything for me. Do you remember that spiral loop that I mentioned before? The numbness, the why bother, the feel like nothing you do matters. That's your shutdown state. Your system basically says, there's no point in trying, I'm shutting down to conserve energy or whatever. Anger is the opposite. Anger is your system turning back online. Think about what anger actually is. It's energy, raw energy. It's your body saying, this is not okay. It's the opposite of, why bother? It's no, this matters, I matter, and I'm not just going to sit here. This is why anger feels so uncomfortable. I've been numb for months, maybe much longer than I wanted to admit, and suddenly there was fire, there was movement in my life again. And this is actually a name for what this anger is trying to restore, also coming from process communication model. It's called potency. The feeling that your action create outcomes, that what you do has an impact, that you're not just watching your life happen, you're in it. When you've been stuck in a powerless loop, the numbness, the withdrawal, it's useless to ask. Anger is the first sign that something in you starting to wake up. It's not pretty, definitely this whole thing is not comfortable, but it's alive. It's your system fighting to come back online, and trust me, it can be beautiful. So if you've been feeling that rage lately and you don't know where it's coming from, maybe don't push it down so fast. Maybe it's a sign that you're not broken. Maybe it's the exit door out of all this shit show situation that you were in. And I hope you heard that. So how do you actually come back from this? How do you rebuild that feeling that your actions starts to matter again, or they always matter? Here's what it didn't work for me, I can tell you that. I was trying to fix it in the place where it broke, in the workplace. I couldn't control whether they keep their promises at work. I couldn't control the decisions that were being made without me. And the only thing I could actually control was when I walk away. That's it. The rest, it's not up to me, and it was never up to me. So I stopped trying to get my power back from the place that actually took it from me, and I started to rebuild it somewhere else. I started really small. Some people will say, that's stupidly small, it's no point of doing it. For me, for some reason, it was always the gym. I was never there for the fitness goal, just for the feel that my body can do something hard and finishing it. Lifting the weight, putting it down, done. I did that. It was simple evidence, it still is. My action create outcomes.
Then there were other things. I started this YouTube channel, for example, and honestly, not many people are watching it. Of course, not as many as I would have loved by this time. I maybe get 30-40 views per videos. I've been doing this weekly for the past 6 months, I believe. That's not the point. I made the video, it exists, I did that. For me, that's the point. The evidence isn't in the views, although I would like it, but it's me in doing it. And if you ask me, I think it's pretty awesome. I'm super happy with it. And I want to be honest with you here. I'm not past this whole powerlessness situation. Some days I still wake up tired, I go to bed tired, and as I said, I'm tired of this loop. Some days that filter is still there whispering, hey, it's useless to try, by the way, so why bother? It's getting better, but I'm not done with this. Right now, I'm outside filming this with geese and whatever other animals here, and some people, talking to you about it. If you ask me 2 years ago, I would have never opened up about this. And for me, this is evidence. That's me doing the thing. This real action creates real outcome. I'm telling you this from the middle, and it's not always pretty. I started saying hi to stranger. I give sometimes random compliments. Maybe I make stupid jokes that some people don't like, which for an engineer who spends most of his day looking at the screen, it's an adjustment, I would say. I am painting sometimes, I'm gardening with my friends, and none of these were about the result. It was about rebuilding evidence, proof that I'm not just watching my life happen, I'm in it. And this whole story reminds me of a movie called The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. It's about a guy who spends his whole life daydreaming instead of living it. It's a really good movie. I will put it in the description below, the IMDb link. And all of a sudden he starts to actually do things, and you watch him change, and it's incredible. Not because the things he's doing are big, but because he's finally in his own life. He's finally living it. And this also reminds me of a quote from Chris Williamson, the host of a Modern Wisdom podcast. He said something that stuck with me. Talking with your friends about doing the thing is not doing the thing. Writing about doing the thing is not doing the thing. Planning to do the thing is not doing the thing. On and on and on. The only thing about doing the thing, guess what? Is doing the thing. That's it. That's the whole secret. You can't control other people. You can't control either if they keep their promises or not. You cannot force the world around us to be fair. But you can rebuild that feeling, the actual feeling of sense in your body that your actions create outcomes. And here's one thing that really surprised me. Once you start to notice it in one area, it starts to bleed out in everything else. You walk differently, you talk differently, maybe you start doing sort of videos outside when you didn't do it before. You stop waiting to be picked because you've got evidence now, you're not powerless, and the best thing, you never were. So if you've been feeling like your life is happening to you instead of with you, luckily you're not broken. You're not weak, you're just carrying something that is really, really old inside you. And the way out isn't to get power back from the people that took it from you, because it's not actually about the people, it's something you learn subconsciously when you were an infant. It's to build it somewhere else, no one can touch it. Start small and start stupidly small, and I mean it, and watch what happens afterwards. If any of this landed with you, I'd love to hear your story. Drop a comment. What's one small thing that made you feel like your actions matter again? Even if it sounds dumb, please listen to me, especially if it sounds dumb. And if someone in your life needs to hear this right now, send it to them. Sometimes, especially for me, knowing that I'm not the only one carrying this, it's a good enough reason to start. Take care of yourself. I mean it. And really, take care of yourself. And I'll see you into the next one. Bye.